Hi, scholars. I'm excited to be back and do some more learning with you guys. I am going to be doing this video on geometry. Before we get started into that, I want to start with saying our class pledge. I'm super proud of all of you. Wow, today is a great day. We can do anything we put our minds to. We are special, powerful, and creative. We make the world a better place. Watch us go. Watch us shine. Whoop, whoop. All right, scholars. So I want to get into some geometry with you. The furthest we got in this in class, you guys, is when we saw and played with the little shapes for our math free time. So this will help you be good to go for a lot of your second grade geometry and some of your third grade geometry. Okay, so if I had a learning target, you guys, for this video, for this little learning session, it would be that I will statement, I will classify shapes and their parts. Okay, something like that. So let me start by showing you some of the main shapes that you'll work with in second grade and in third. Okay, so I'll start here at the top, and you might notice a pattern between the gons. Okay, this is an octagon, this one. Okay, has 8 sides. Okay, pentagon and a hexagon. So a little difference there. This one has 8 sides, this one has 5, this one has 6. Okay, so you'll see those are common shapes in our second grade geometry. You will see squares. Those are pretty common. Triangles, and there's different ways to draw a triangle. That's pretty main one. And then rectangles, you guys. Okay, down a little lower, rhombus. Almost looks like a diamond, not quite a diamond. Trapezoids and parallelograms. And there's probably a couple more of those as well, parallelograms. So go ahead and look at those. These are shapes, okay? We're gonna deal with, and then scholars, I want you to notice some of the parts, okay? These are pretty cool. Shapes are kind of cool. You actually will see shapes all around the world and in your everyday life. Some of these, you might see at a stop sign. Okay, our stop signs. You may see designs like this in tile floors and stuff like that. Your squares, your computers, your TVs, windows, your triangles, pizza, pie, rectangles, maybe beds or doors, rhombus. This one's cool, you guys. When I was looking up at the stars one night, I don't know why we see or draw stars as like the other little one with the points. But I actually saw a star. So when I looked up, there was like the little dots, the stars, but since they're from a distance, lots of little dots in the sky. And then you'll notice sometimes you'll see one or two big ones that are shining. Well, I saw a big shining star that was shaped like a rhombus. It was skinnier, but it was shaped like a rhombus, shining very brightly amongst all the little tinier looking stars. So you'll see shapes all around. Trapezoids, you might see a shape like this as a stage. Ever been to, you guys, we have a stage at school. Maybe even porches or the top of a house or something like that. And your parallelograms. Those can be tiled floors, different kinds of arts and designs and all kinds of stuff. So kind of explore with that, scholars, and see how many shapes you can see a day. It'll help your brain kind of absorb and keep noticing the different parts. So I'm going to grab a different color marker and show you some of the different parts. So First thing, scholars, I'll start. It's simple that you will have to know and identify among shapes is sides. And you probably kind of have a good idea about that already because, you guys have heard the word sides before and used it. And, so, but I'm just going to use my pink marker, okay? Here, these are considered the sides of the shape, the lines on the sides. So just kind of want you to see that, because sometimes shapes are grouped and classified by how many sides they have. So where you see my little pink lines, those are sides. Okay. I know like the parallelogram and the octagons, quadrilaterals, quad kind of means four. So shapes with four sides. These are different because of the side, or labeled different because of the sides that they have. So sometimes sides can help you classify the shapes. So that's kind of important to know. Then you have your corners. Let me grab a different color marker. And this is another common phrase or word, the corners you might know, but just kind of want you to see it again. And so, right, those little points at the meeting of two lines are corners, okay? Corner, just so you can see that. Corner, the corner, okay? And the square right at the end of those meeting of those two. Okay, those are corners. Okay, so in a geometry problem, it might have you classify a shape by its sides and its corners. Okay, I'm going to show you the angles. Very important, and one of the main questions, problem sets in geometry. Angles, and there's different kinds, and we'll kind of go through that, scholars. So angle, and you will usually see that. Did I get the angles are right in between the little gaps that are in between two sides. Okay. So that little arch I did is a very common symbolism that you will see on math work. They will help you to see angles or try to get you to think about angles using that little sign. So right in between there, there's an angle. Okay, angle in between the little gaps, the sides of there. So those little arches that I'm putting, those are where our angles are. On the triangle, all around, there's angles. Okay, and I'll show you this in a bigger way. I just kind of getting you started. Okay, on the square, the angle is different. I'll show you that. But just right in between those gaps, where there's two lines and then there's the corner, and then right in the middle there's your angle. Great. Awesome. All right. Let me grab a little eraser, and then I want to show you in a bigger sense the angles. All right, scholars, so we have three major different kinds of angles in geometry. We have a right angle, a acute angle, and an obtuse angle. And I love these little words because there's cool ways that I've learned, and I've seen different teachers teach kids to be able to remember the angles by using like little hints, acronyms, and stuff with the words. So the right angle is an angle that is 90 degrees. And it's shaped like an L. And it usually has the box, the box symbol in the corner of it. Okay, so look for that L shape or that box symbol. You will be able to know that that's a right angle. Okay. The acute angle, someone used to tell me, oh, it's so cute and tiny, like little puppies or little babies. So this kind of angle, scholars, again, it's that little space represented right between the two sides there on a shape. And it is smaller or less than the 90-degree angle because it's not quite large enough to put a square in there. So I'll use the little arch, but that is the smallest angle. That's the acute angle. Okay. The obtuse angle, there's a couple different little funny things I've heard that people do. But for the O, just because the word starts with the O, I've heard people say over large. And this is the large angle, and it's usually, hold on, this line has to go down. It's usually represented, again, with that common symbolism, but as you can see, there's more space in between these two sides than there is in this angle and the right angle. Okay, so that's that big, when you see that big space and that wide gap, that's your obtuse angle. So these are your three main angles, scholars, in geometry that you'll need to know. The right angle, L-shaped, always 90 degrees, has a little box symbol. Common on like squares, rectangles, have those L-shaped corners. Acute angle, tiny little angle, small amount of space in between the two sides. And oh, it's so cute. Okay, that's your small acute angle. And your big guy, the obtuse. Okay. Something, this word called parallel, just because it goes with classifying sides and shapes. I just kind of want to show it to you real quick. So if you've ever seen the little lines when you go or with a family member or a friend and you have to park your car like at a grocery store, or at our school or any big, large parking lot, you'll see the two lines, and people usually call that parallel parking. Parallel lines are two lines that run straight, scholars, and if they keep going, they'll never cross. So they're gapped space in between them, they run straight, and if they keep going straight in that direction, they'll never cross. Okay, so it looks like this. Okay. So there are some shapes called parallelograms, and it's because they have two sides that are parallel. So squares and rectangles, and I'll show you that. I can just finish this off, actually. So that's what's that? It's a rectangle, and it could be a parallelogram because it has these two sides that if they were to keep going straight in the same direction, those sides would not cross or intersect. Okay, so that's a little info about parallelogram. You might see a question on iReady or something that says, which one of these shapes can be a parallelogram? That's what they're talking about. There's different kinds of triangles that I didn't get a chance to show you that, but maybe, let's see real quick, because I know that's one thing. There's like a right triangle. There's that triangle that has that obtuse side. And then there's the acute triangle where all the little angles are small. So look at that, just so you know, scholars. Okay, you're gonna see stuff like that, and we'll talk about it more. I want to do another video where I use some word problems from your math book, and then I do them and we see them together. Okay, so super excited for all the learning and growing you're doing. I'm very proud of you, and I miss you all, and I believe in you. I said that I would say goodbye in a different language until we get to our culture videos. So in Swedish, you can say goodbye by saying adjö. So I'll see you later. Have an amazing day. Bye.